All right, y'all, let's rock and roll. Got about 30 minutes for this lecture. We're actually getting ready for a philosophy major, getting ready to do a virtual colloquium, so I'm gonna try to get this done. If not, I'll do a part 2 to this last part. All right, so what we're gonna do here is basically lead us to solving or proving whether or not a particular categorical syllogism is valid or not, right? So we left off talking about moods and figures, right? So a mood is the proper ordering of the categorical form letters, right? And then the figure, like I said, you have in your reading, but the easiest way to understand this is that there are 4 different location schematics, if you will, right? There's 4 different ways in which the P, the S, and the M can be coordinated within a categorical syllogism, right? So, we have, for instance, figure 1, which the middle term can be in the subject, the major term can be in the predicate, right? The minor term could be in the subject, the middle term could be in the predicate, right? So in figure 1, let's go ahead and just put them all down, right? So figure 2, figure 3, figure 4. All right. So here are our 4 figures. Now, what are we saying here? We're saying that in figure 1, this is what? Major premise, minor premise, conclusion. 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 Major premise, why? Because it has the P, which is the major term. Minor premise, why? Because it has the S, which is the minor term, the major term, which is the minor term. It's always in the order, major premise, minor premise, conclusion. Right? S and P, this is my conclusion, which is the subject and predicate of my conclusion. Subject of my conclusion is my minor term. Predicate of my conclusion is my major term. Right? So we have 4 figures in which a categorical syllogistic argument can find itself in. These figures then determine how we understand, how we then place the argument of the letters, right, the mood, if you will, and conjoin that to then figure out how then we apply the various rules of validity, right? So, I don't know, y'all know me, I like to just jump right in, right? But let's see if I got the understanding, right? There's only 4 figures, right? The location of the middle term varies, right? Right. If you kind of look at the relationships, 1 and 4 mirrored opposites, 2 and 3 are mirrored opposites, right? Whatever you need to do to understand it, right? So let's take an argument. Let's take this first one. No weaklings are labor leaders. No weaklings are labor leaders. Because no weaklings are liberals, and all labor leaders are liberals. No weaklings are labor unions. Why do I say that? Because no weaklings are liberals, and all labor leaders are liberals. So what do I first do? Find the conclusion, right? My conclusion is my first line. Right? That's my claim. I got to my claim, or I justified my claim by this premise connected with this premise, right? I should have said and. Right? Right? So, right, what do? Well, we locate major premise, minor premise, and we know the major premise, minor premise by the major terms, minor terms. The minor term of this conclusion is the subject, right? So this is going to be S. This is going to be P. So remember, first locate the conclusion. That's my conclusion. The minor term of my conclusion is in the subject position. The major term of my conclusion is in the predicate position. Now we put it in proper order. Let's go ahead and put it here. We put it in proper order, which means the major term, which is found in the major premise, goes on top, minor premise, conclusion. So where's labor leaders? Bam. Labor leaders P, weaklings S, liberals is my middle term. Right? So if my conclusion is here, S, P, we know this is my conclusion as an E proposition. My major term has, my major premise has my major term, right? And what is that? PM. Right? PM. All P are M. All P are M is an A proposition. Right? My minor term is weaklings. So my minor premise is no weaklings are liberals. No S are M. No weaklings are liberals is an E proposition. So this argument, no weaklings are labor leaders, because no weaklings are liberals and all labor leaders are liberals, that then converts to an AEE mood in figure 2. PMSMSP, PMSMSP. AEE 2. Right? Start off here. Put in our major term, minor term, middle term. Put it in major premise, minor premise, conclusion order. Identify the categorical form letter. Figured out the mood. Once we put it back into the equation here, we now have the figure, PMSMSP, figure 2. My argument here is an AEE2 argument. Now, if you're a philosopher or you're a logician around the nation right now, you already know if that's valid or not, because you know all the possible relationships. There's like 244 of them. You know all the rules at the top of your head. You know how things operate. But for my intro to logic students, y'all don't know what the hell going on right now. But stay with me. Y'all got me. I got you. So that's this one. Let's try another real quick. No musicians are boring people. All musicians are great love partners. Consequently, no boring people are great love partners. Right? Now, as y'all know, I'm a musician. Fa la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Sorry. But anyway, but no musicians are boring people. All musicians are great love partners. Consequently, as my conclusion indicator, no boring people are great love partners. Right? Y'all already know I ain't no boring professor, but truthfully, I am a boring person. It's kind of crazy, ain't it? I only get turned up in the classroom. Other than that, man, I'm so boring. Like this quarantine, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm chilling. Like, sorry. I should say, I miss you. All the warmth and the hugs and all that. I should say that. And my boss might get mad because I ain't saying that. I don't not miss you. I hate the double negative. But I am chilling by myself. But I digress. Because when you all smile is great. But I digress. My conclusion is here. So I have to now find my major term, minor term. Major term is here. Minor term is here. Sorry. Subject of the conclusion, minor term. Predicate of the conclusion, major term. Right. Now, where do I find the major term? Bam. Put it here. Where do I find the minor term? Bam. Put it here. The other term is my middle term. Right? So my conclusion, minor term, major term. The term that has, the premise that has my major term is my major premise. That's here. The term that has my minor term is my minor premise. That's here. So let's put it in proper order. My conclusion, SP, no SRP. It's an E, right? My major term, great love partners. My major premise right here. So all MRP is my major premise. All MRP. All MRP is an A proposition, right? Now, minor premise, boring people. Minor term, boring people. Minus premise, no musicians are boring people. No middle term is minor term. No MSP. S. No MSS is an E proposition. So now, my mood is the same, right? AE. Same mood, right? But I ask you, is my figure the same? No, right? MP, MS, SP, figure 3. Right? The figure changed. Right? Again, what do? Find my argument, find my conclusion. Subject of my conclusion is my minor term. Predicate of my conclusion is my major term. Right? Find the major term in the premise. Great love partners is here. That's my major premise, MP. Bam. Find my minor term in my premise. It's here. My minor premise, no MSS. Bam. Mood, AEE, figure 3. All right? That's how we find moods and figures. All right? Now, I wrote a couple exercises here down. Give me a second. I'll make sure I get this right. 1 second. We're going to do this together. Let me just check my copy. Make sure it looks right. We're going to pull it back a little bit. Think so, right? All right. So, let's rock and roll. So, I covered the board, so you should have your notes right now. Let's start with the first one. This actually comes from your book, From your homework, did I leave it out? It's page, I should have had this out. I'm wasting time. I don't know. But this is the number 2 in your homework that says 2 through 10 or something like that. Right? All right. Sorry, I shouldn't have moved it. Can you see that? Let me just see, make sure you see it. All right, we cool. All right. Some evergreens are object of worship. Because all fir trees are evergreens, and some objects of worship are fir trees. Some evergreens are object of worship. Because all fir trees are evergreens, and some object of worship are fir trees. Well, I see my premise indicator, and if we go back to how we use conjoining premises and stuff like that, my and is connected to my premise. So my conclusion is here. Some evergreens are object of worship. That's my conclusion. How do I know that? Because I got a premise indicator connected with another premise, right? And so my claim is this. How do I prove that claim? By virtue of this. So, found my conclusion, find my minor and major term. Minor term is the subject of the conclusion. Major term is the predicate of the conclusion. Find my major and minor premise. Find worship. Bam. P. Find evergreens. Bam. S. The other term is fir trees. M. M. Put it in proper order. SP goes on the bottom. I always put this line here so you can put my mood right next to it. Make it easy for you. Some evergreens are object of worship. We already know that tonight. All right? Find my major term in the premise is right here. All right? Some object of worship are fir trees. P, M. That's an I. All my logic people already know. All my advanced logic, all my professors already know right now if this is valid or invalid. We'll keep moving. So, my minor premise term is evergreens. Evergreens is here. So I have M, S. All fir trees are evergreens. That's an A. So my mood is AIA. Now what's my figure? I know I closed the board on you, but you have your notebooks you should have been taking a few minutes ago. All right? Figure 4. All right? Figure 4. IAI, figure 4. All right? Let's try this one. Some reform